Now that that's finished, I'm just going to go ahead and view those images. So you can see there's the diffuse map, the normals map for each side of the cube that I just rendered. Let's go ahead and open one of these up and see what it looks like. So here's our normals map, and we're rendering this out in tangent space. So let's talk a little bit about that just so you guys get up to speed and know exactly what I'm talking about. We go back into options. You notice down in here that I've got several different normal map space coordinates to work from. So I can work in world space, screen space, local XYZ, or tangent. Generally, it's best to just use tangent for everything. And basically, the difference between all of these is if you set this to world space, it's going to render out your normal map as it was projected from the world. So say you've got a cube. If you were to reorient that cube, the normals would be projected wrong. So if you render out a normal space normal map, that object has to remain static. You can't really move it around. If you render this out in screen space, basically it's going to fire raise, it's going to calculate that from the screen. So right here, whatever view I've got active, it's going to render the normals from that view. Again, if you render it in screen space, those objects have to remain static. Rendering things in screen space would be good, for instance, if you were doing something for the web, something that you want to just display the image. Local XYZ and tangent space. Local XYZ is kind of similar to world space, except it's in the object space, so the object's pivot. So again, if you render something in local XYZ, you could then move the object around, but you wouldn't be able to deform the object at all. If you were to deform that surface, then your normal map wouldn't be accurate. So I'm just going to set it to tangent. Tangent is pretty much good for just about anything, because with tangent space, this is basically rendering the normal map tangent to the actual surface that you're rendering from. So for a character, because you're going to be setting that up to be deformable, those tangent spaces are going to be changing. You're going to be deforming that guy. So that basically the tangent space is normal to the surface. So if we took a ray and fired it off this surface, we could calculate how that is, what the angle of incidence is along that sphere based on the normal of this surface out here on the box.